Middle MAGA.
And Joe Biden has a whole nother thing going on with the allegations of corruption, nepotism surrounding Biden and his corrupt, despicable family. And they're really, and I don't mean that just a name call. They're really through that veneer. Because when I grew up, they always looked at them as a, believe it or not, like a wholesome family, especially because of Bo. Rest in peace. But it turns out that that was definitely a veneer. That was definitely a false pretense, a false narrative. It casts a long shadow over the moral and ethical standings of the leadership, further eroding, dwindling trust between the government and the governed for very good reason. We're seeing dwindling trust that will never be replaced, at least not with the same people we have now. It'd be very hard to be replaced with anybody. But this is what the most recent. There's so many, it's hard to keep up with the scandals.
It's a check. Check number 6171 to Joseph R. Biden Jr. for $200,000 from Sarah and James Biden Sr. Can you tell us about this check, John?
Well, first off, it's the latest evidence that what Joe Biden told us to become president in 2019 and 2020 was false. We were fed a series of lies by the president. We know many of them well. My family did get China money. Yes, it did. My son's laptop is Russian disinformation. No, it wasn't. I never met with my son's business partners. Yes, you did. And now the last one is I never talked to my brother, had anything to do with my brother James' business. And now James Biden has proven to the opposite. James Biden, the brother of the president, gets a $200,000 loan from a failing rural health care company, one that ends up in some sort of bankruptcy proceedings a few years later. He's selling the family name, according to an SEC complaint that is now public. And then as soon as he gets his $200,000 in, he writes a check the same day from the same account in the exact same amount, $200,000 to his brother. A direct pass-through. Another one of Joe Biden's stories to the American people now shredded to bits because he didn't tell us the truth.
So what happens next? It seems as if every week there's a new piece of evidence, a new scandal, the Porsche, the diamond, the $3 million from the mayor of Moscow's widow, and now we've got a check for $200,000. I thought we were told, show me the money, and I tweeted at the weekend, hey, Joe, here's the money.
Yeah, it's killing the media who kept saying, there's no evidence, there's no evidence. There's so much evidence, the media can't apparently fit it into their news hole. They apparently just stopped writing about it. Listen, I think the next step for James Comer is to see if there's any loan documents, because this was marked loan. Now, keep in mind, Hunter Biden used to mark things loan that were actually income.
When I grew up, you would have people like John Solomon on, I think he used to be on mainstream stuff, if I'm not mistaken. He used to get on I don't remember which networks, but the corporate networks used to have both sides pretty covered. That was before populism, though.
That was at the heart of the whistleblowers case, the IRS whistleblowers, and what was going to be the tax evasion charges against him. Congress will need to ask the president, please provide us the loan documents for James, because if not, this is a form of income that may not have been declared on his taxes in 2018. Remember, we have his tax returns. There is a lot of questions, a lot of activity behind the scenes to get at this. And also, do not forget about the FD 1023 form with the FBI informant, the $10 million payments, some significant progress on that front as well. So let's keep an eye. There's a lot, even though the speaker's race is sort of sucking up the oxygen in the Capitol, there's a lot of investigative work underway right now.
So I haven't covered a lot of these stories because I'm not for impeachment, and it's actually very hard to cover when there's a lot of things you want to cover. To the story that people are trying to tell is too convoluted, and I don't know how to simplify that. Well, actually, I do. I just don't. I'm not really. The way that I would do it is through, what I'm going to say, through ChatGPT. I would put everything basically that I've got on Joe Biden. I bet you could do it and then say, hey, how do you simplify this into you could literally have ChatGPT, and maybe I'll do that for like a shorter segment. You have ChatGPT write not a fictional story, but tell the story with the real names, but do it in like a nursery, or you can even tell it like, hey, tell it to me like I'm a first grader. that's really dumbed down. But usually, like, tell it to me like I'm a high schooler works pretty well to give you like very basic. Because sometimes there's concepts I'm like, well, I don't understand. What are you talking about? And I'll be like, break it down to me like I'm a middle schooler or high schooler, and then you kind of get the gist of it.
Middle MAGA.